everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Mommy's series of My Expat Life. Today is episode 5, and instead of answering 10 questions, a lot of you have been asking me for tips and advice if they want to become an expat or what to prepare for when you are going to become an expat. So today I'm going to share with you 10 tips before you become an expat. So it's what to expect. It's definitely my opinion only. There are so many different ways and things that come about and experiences for every expat. So I'm not saying this is set in stone. It's just what I've experienced and what I would advise someone that might be becoming an expat or who might be an expat that are having a little bit of trouble. So my first top tip is expect it to be really hard. And what I mean by that is if you expect the worst, and it's easy and smooth, then you're all right. And if you find challenges and things come about that are really, really hard, you're prepared for them. And moving across the world or even to another country or even another city, it is still foreign to everybody. And it's foreign to you and it's something new. So you need to expect things aren't going to go smoothly. There's going to be a few roadblocks and expect the unexpected, basically. My second tip is don't try to take everything you own with you. Either keep it in storage where you currently live or with family members that can store it safely for you, or really go through the things that you don't actually need. I tried to bring everything I could think of to England with me, and it cost me a fortune in shipping, and only a year later there was clothes that I didn't want to wear or things that didn't even suit the weather here or even suit the styles here. I mean, you got to think of terms of different cultures. There's different styles and there's different weather and climate, so you need to prepare for that. Don't try to take all your home decor. It might be that you need a few of the main furnishings, but it might be cheaper just to buy it wherever you're moving, or you might not like it. It might not go with the style and decor of that country and culture. So really be hard on yourself on what to take and narrow it down to your basic essentials. You can always buy more. My third tip is to spend quality time with all your loved ones, family and friends both, way before you move. You always think there's time that you're gonna visit and see them, especially grandparents, not to be a bit gloomy, but you never know when you'll next see them and how often you'll be able to visit when you go abroad or wherever you're moving. So I think just laying some time out for friends and family, and especially your grandparents and the little ones that change so much, and really bond with them before you go. And obviously there's FaceTime and social media to stay in touch with all your friends and family, but I think it's really important to make that time before you make that big move for those special loved ones. My fourth tip is to learn as much about the culture and area you're moving to. Now, I was a bit naive. I was only 23 when I moved to the UK. I was in love, and that's all that mattered. I was kind of blindsided and didn't even think that the culture would be that different or the language would be different, and it was really just all about just being with the one I love, which is special, but at the same time it made it harder because I wasn't prepared for the cultural shock. I wasn't prepared to struggle to make friends and understand why people were the way they were, or learn anything about the culture I was moving and becoming a part of. So I really think that's a big tip and very important to just find your way of dealing with something new and all the changes that were going to come about for you. My fifth tip is to make plans for your life there. And I'm not saying make a 5-year, 10-year plan of what it's going to be like, because no one can expect what it's going to be like living somewhere else foreign to you. But what I mean is job hunting or groups and passions like going to yoga or riding or whatever it is that you love to do. Make little plans about maybe what local groups they have, or find a gym that you already want to go to where you're going to move, or job hunt in the area and just really find something that you can attach yourself to and put yourself into when you get there. The first thing you don't want to do, like I did, is move across the world, don't study the culture whatsoever, and find yourself sitting in a living room and have nothing to do and feel very lonely. And so that is a big tip for me. Make plans. Make plans for your life of what you are going to be doing. Even if they're not concrete, even if they change when you do get there, at least you have something to look forward to and something to focus on when you land off that plane or off that train. And number 6 really goes with number 5 on learning about your local area. Find out exactly where you're going to live and what is offered in that area. Maybe a little cafe that you want to visit or a museum, and know your way around before you get there. I know that sounds a bit funny, but there's Google Maps and there's YouTube and there's so much information out there. You could pretty much know your way around before you even land somewhere. And the worst thing is to be lost when you're missing home. And I can speak from experience for that. So if you know a few places you want to visit and a few areas on where they are and what they offer, it makes you feel more at home. It makes you feel more comfortable and not so foreign to you. Now, number 7 for me is up to you, and it depends on what kind of person you are. And for me, I was only 23. I was a young child, naive, falling in love, going across the world, and I really held my emotions in. And my number 7 tip is don't hold them in. Don't hold back on anything, whether you're happy, excited, sad, scared, nervous, whatever it is, let them out, talk to people about them, and it really does help you. I bottled them up for about 2 years, and I think I had a few explosions that could have been prevented if I had been more prepared for my emotions and saying goodbye and trying to have this tough act. And I really wasn't tough at all. And it does give you thicker skin, but I do think being open and honest with your family and friends helps them support you as much as helps you get those emotions out and off your shoulders, because it is a weight on your shoulders when you know nobody, you don't know where you're going, and you don't know anything about where you live at that time. So you want to rely on those friends and family, and they don't know, or they won't know to support you and be there for you if you bottle it up all inside and don't share what you're feeling. So be open, be honest. It's okay to be scared, it's okay to be nervous, and it's okay to not be scared and not be nervous, and just be excited for the adventure ahead of you. And again, number 7 goes with number 8. My number 8 tip is to be very open-minded. Be prepared for change, be prepared to change yourself. When you move somewhere in a different culture and a different place, it is going to change you. And I was very young, but I also was very stubborn, and maybe that's a typical American thing. We're stuck in our ways, and only our way is our only way. And for me, I didn't want to lose my identity of being an American, even though I was living in England. And I think I really was stubborn in the first probably, okay, I say 5 years, but it's probably more like 7 years that I just was trying to be, I'm American, I want my American ways, I want my American foods and my American accent. I didn't want to lose my accent. And the first thing your family and friends will tell you is that they can hear that new accent no matter how hard you try. They'll always tell you at every second that they can that you don't sound like you anymore, that you have changed. But in reality, you have changed. You've experienced something bigger in the world and something different, and it's okay. So you just got to be open-minded and embrace it as much as possible. I mean, there's nothing wrong with staying you and staying true to your own culture, but you got to be open-minded about accepting the new culture as well. And I am really struggled with that over the last few years, and I think I'm getting better at it, but it's still on my top priority because at the end of the day, my children are both American and English, and I want to be a part of that as much as they are. My number 9 tip is one that came about after reading many expat blogs and being an expat myself. I find that most people complain or vent about how they don't get to go home. They've moved abroad or they've moved to a new country, wherever that may be, a new place, and they have not set aside any money to go visit home. It's been years since they visit their family and friends, and I think before you even move, set aside that money, make sure you have a plan between 6 to 12 months to come back, see your family and friends. Family and friends are so important and be a part of your life, but it's also good for you. I mean, if you move away and you don't have that plan, it's harder and harder to make that plan, and sometimes it's expensive depending on how far you moving away. I've moved across the world, so it's very expensive to get home, and I save every penny I can so that I always go home at least once a year to see my family and friends and my home. And I think it's really important that you have that plan at least in your mind if you don't have the money right now, and just have that penny jar in the kitchen even after you move, just keep putting your pennies in there, because it can really, really help you in your transition of your new life and your old life and combining them together. And my last tip, number 10, always remember, if it doesn't work out, you can go home. You can go back to where you were. You can go back to what you were doing. It's just a flight or train ride or bus ride. Nothing says that you have to stay in that exact spot. It's your life. You choose where you want it to be and how you want it to be. So I wish you all the best in your expat adventures. I hope these top 10 tips have helped you be prepared or know what to expect if you're going to become an expat. And I wish you happy traveling and good luck. Bye for now.